Well, top of the morning to you. You've reached Tasmania Reacts channel. Lately, the last few days, just been doing some reactions to how I get through the news cycle. A lot of the podcasts I watch, how get through the day while I'm working. There'll be a lot of different reactions. I got some music that I responded to that didn't get the copywritten tag on it, so they're out there too. Go take a look at those. Like, subscribe, comment, try to get this channel going. Hopefully I'm helping some people out. I've answered a few questions. Nothing really to answer right now. On the last video I kind of explained it. It was kind of short. But, I mean, heck, I don't know if you're a Trump lover or Trump hater or got Trump derangement syndrome or anything that effect, but man, a hell of a week for him. Seen people on both sides. Can't deny it's been a hell of a week for Trump. Probably one of the best weeks of his presidencies, 45 and 47. And I mean, a good week for Trump is a good week for the United States at this point, due to the fact that he is the president of the United States of America. And just getting into it, it started with the bombing of Iran, nuclear sites, and we'll be getting into that a little more, but just an oversight overall. As soon as that ended, as soon as that was over, a ceasefire came about. Had a little hiccup in the beginning. Luckily that got squared away, as Trump pretty much told everybody to stop messing around. As I said before, had one more bomb to drop, which was the F-bomb. Had Israeli pilots pull back as they were going to attack after a single missile was shot after the deadline, and they did pull back. So that fight's been going on for quite a while. So anytime there's any type of peace, that's great, or ceasefire as it is right now. That's good. So maybe we could work off of that, and so far that's been good. Secondly, some of the videos I was saying, you got to watch where the money's at, and oil did not spike, it didn't move, which pretty much told me the reaction to Europe and the Middle East pretty much sound like, whether it was secret or not, people were pretty excited or decently happy that Iran probably lost its capabilities to have a nuclear weapon anytime soon. And there's going to be people that come out and say certain things, but they got to save face, look strong. Even some Iran leaders came out and said a few things, but I think there's a lot of undertone of Iran came to the table for the ceasefire, and like I said, responded with a couple of missile shots back at us, and like I said, we were given proper courtesy that they were coming, just to save face. But the way the money looks, like I said, no oil was spiked. Right now, the stock market is getting to the point where it may end up being a record high. And that's interesting on a week that we sent bombers over to Iran. And the tariff situation looks like that's actually panning out to at least at this point, it's looking to be pretty good right now. There's a lot of wins going on right now for Trump, for President Trump, which means a lot of good wins for us. Hopefully they'll get that, what do they call it, the big beautiful bill, supposed to be signed by maybe Independence Day, which gives some of us who are working overtime, working for tips, maybe we'll get a break. I know there's some stipulations on there. I don't want to get into that. No reason to get a video on that yet. Or I mean, maybe there is, but I'm not worried about that right now. I know there's some technicalities with that, but I mean, I don't think necessarily a bad deal. So we're gonna
You're talking about an organization.
Going to get into some of the videos that happened today. First of all, I'm going to go ahead and just start this video, see if it will explain what the first topic's going to be in this video. Again, like, subscribe, comment if you can. Tell me if I'm doing a good job, what I can do better. Send me comments or email if you need to, whatever you need to, and then it's just pretty much the name of the channel along with Hotmail. But here we go.
That derives over 30% of its revenue from government sources. And the state is saying, look, you're providing abortion services as well as other services, and that makes you ineligible in our state. And what the court said is they can do that. And so if South Carolina can do it, you can bet other states are going to go forward and they're going to do it too.
Really interesting. Sorry.
Okay, so there's an order that has been dropped that was it South Carolina? He said will not have to fund Planned Parenthood due to the fact that the state itself, since it's now back in the hands of the state, which don't want to get into the abortion argument right now, but ultimately I think it should be down to the states. No reason that should be an overall federal thing, but if the state doesn't allow abortions to be done, then facilities that perform that should not be funded by the taxpayers of that state. To me, that makes total sense. Give the power to the people, give the power to the state. We have 50 of them. If you want to go do something elsewhere, then go to another state that accepts it. I mean, that's the best that I can do on that one. But kind of wanted to get into a little more. It ends up being more of what I listened to DeVore, I believe that's his name, and I'll listen to what he has to say. I'm trying to remember if it's here.
That is in case you guys didn't know this, for people who are African Americans in our country, 39.4% of black women make up abortions every year.
Okay, he's gonna go on a little bit, but the point that I want to get into is, I don't know if many of you know. However, Planned Parenthood was founded by Margaret Sanger. Margaret Sanger is known to be a white supremacist, and pretty much the undertone of why she's the founder of Planned Parenthood is she wanted to find a way to pretty much make it easier for minorities. In this case, well, he's going, obviously he's a black man, that make it easier for minorities to get abortions. So limit, I think one of her statements was to get rid of the weeds so that beautiful flowers can blossom. You got Google and search and all that, and algorithms as you search for things, so I know how that search engine works for me. However, I did ask a couple of people to do something for me, so I had some research, and it happened. So I asked them to look up founder of Planned Parenthood. You look it up, it says Margaret Sanger, all this stuff. Oh, and it's all great. What a great, founder of Planned Parenthood. She worked with the black groups within the inner cities to ensure that we could have Planned Parenthood, make it easier for females in those areas to get abortions, so they can have, so that they're able to have the right to abort their babies and all that stuff. It's interesting that it's called Planned Parenthood when it's a lot of abortions go on there, although they come out and say it's a health thing. However, that's how it comes up. So then I asked them, well, now put Margaret Sanger in there and add white supremacists or KKK. Then it comes up with, yes, she was, there's evidence that she was part of a female form of the KKK that the negative things that were said about that. Yes, she did work with leaders, but black leaders, but I mean, what a way to disguise yourself. What a way to limit a race that you don't want around you. What a better way than to make it more convenient for them to kill their own babies before they're even born. So, not going to get into it too much because I don't want to get into the abortion talk. I just find it interesting that you can have Hillary Clinton say such fine things about Margaret Sanger. I think Barack Obama said a few things when this person literally, tons of evidence shows that the reason that she wanted Planned Parenthood was to limit the lives of races that she found to be weeds and not flowers, as she said. And look up where Planned Parenthoods popped up. They weren't popping up in white populated areas. They all started as we're helping out the poor people, we're helping out the minorities. They need to be out there working, and if they don't want any kids, we want to make it easier for them to do it so they can afford it. Yeah, no, don't be stupid. And then you tell me why you have these Democrat leaders praise Planned Parenthood, all this, that, and the other, and then yet there's still what he's about to say. Here we go. What does he say here?
That is in case you guys didn't know this, for people who are African Americans in our country, 39.4% of black women make up abortions every year. That is astonishing. That is the devil, if you ask me. That's ridiculous. And who's behind majority of those abortions? Planned Parenthood. And by the way, when nearly 4 in 10 abortions is coming from only one community, this isn't about women's health care, ladies and gentlemen. This is a freaking crisis.
Well, Planned Parenthood really got its clock clean today because you're talking about where he's...
Yeah, anyway, he goes on. But one thing interesting about this individual, I watch him a lot. He's a really good guy. You should look him up. His watermark was down there. He was actually his biological mom had some issues, and he was actually she had him, but he was adopted. So he's pretty passionate about that. So I really like that he had an opportunity I had an opportunity to hear it from him first that came out, because he's kind of passionate for it. So there's an individual that should have been one in four. What is it? 1 in 4? Is that what it is? And he's out here. He served in the military as well, just as I did. So I really like that guy. I was going to throw a little joke in here because this is pretty much, as far as I can tell, it's Margaret Sanger right here.
You guys support abortion? Clap if you do. I'm with you guys, because did you guys know that most of the women that get abortions are minorities, and God knows we don't need any more of that. Women had so many abortions that their uteruses are haunted. They've just got like these aborted fetus ghosts in there.
Why didn't you want me, Mom? Is it because I'm black?
You guys support abortion? Clap if you do. I'm with you guys, because did you guys know that most of the women that get abortions are minorities, and God knows we don't need any more of that.
Okay, that's a joke, but I'm just saying that's like literally Margaret Sanger. Now this comedian Joni, oh gosh, what is that? Leonardo Joni, I think that's her name. She's she's pretty risque. She's old school, man. She's hilarious. But I think she's hilarious. So anyway, it's just a little joke in there. Definitely interesting. And if you don't believe me, look it up and go for yourself. Look up founder of Planned Parenthood. I think you can look, even if you just said Margaret Sanger, it's going to come up with all the good stuff about her being founder of Planned Parenthood and all that, and then put her name in there and add KKK or white supremacy or anything to that effect, and you're going to get the whole other side. And there's videos out there, various, religious groups, non-religious groups, people who are in the African American communities on her side and against her. So it's out there. Definitely interesting. So just thought I'd throw that in there. Let's see, what were we going to talk about on this one? Oh yeah, gonna go.
Here's a sample.
We're gonna go through and last video I was talking about how with this Iran situation, how Mean Girls situation of how CNN and MSNBC just are looking for ways to say that that we did not have a successful bomb strike on Iran. Here's a little example right here, and this is Megyn Kelly, pretty awesome female, very smart, beautiful. Yeah, here we go.
Just how effective were the American strikes on Iran's nuclear program? Well, tonight, CNN is learning a preliminary intelligence assessment suggests they did not destroy Iran's nuclear sites. This early report is from the Pentagon's Defense Intelligence Agency. CNN has spoken with 7 people briefed on it. One source says that the strike set Iran back, quote, maybe a few months, tops. 2 others tell us the country's stockpile of enriched uranium was also not destroyed. Another says the centrifuges are largely intact.
Really? Because the director of the IAEA is now on record saying the centrifuges are no longer operational. The CIA and every other intelligence agency to look at this, including the Israelis, say it's been destroyed and it will take years for them to rebuild anything. So I look forward to their correction. What's happening instead is you had Trump.
Okay, so she went on, but that's interesting because, people will be like, oh, they could be lying, they could do whatever. Well, do you feel that the Israeli people, the same people that will be saying that will also say, well, the Israelis want us to keep bombing and helping them and all this stuff. So why would it? So if we didn't hit it, why would Israelis say, no, you did hit it? You think the Israelis would come out and also say, yeah, you're right. You didn't hit it. You didn't get rid of this. So you guys need to hit it again. No, we actually have the Israelis saying, no, you guys did what you needed to do. So then we have let's see. Yeah, this gentleman here shows what they did.
And then it comes blowing out the hole.
I think they're film of the testing of the bunker bombs of a place that was very similar, what they hit, how these work. So he's explaining on how these bunker bombs work, and here you go.
There it is going in through the top in ultra slow motion. You'll see the fins collapse as soon as it hits. The fins collapse in. And then once it clears into an opening, it blows up underground.
Keep it going for a minute. You'll see right inside here.
So it comes in through the roof, and then it ignites. And there's the hole that left.
Unlike a normal surface bomb, you won't see an impact crater because they're designed to deeply bury and then function. I know there's been a lot of questions about that. All 6 weapons at each vent at Fordo went exactly where they were intended to go. A bomb has 3 effects that causes damage: blast, fragmentation, and overpressure. In this case, the primary kill mechanism in the mission space was a mix of overpressure and blast, ripping through the open tunnels and destroying critical hardware. The majority of the damage we assessed based on our extensive modeling was a blast layer combined with the impulse extending from the shock. Imagine what this looks like 6 times over. A point that I want to make here: the Joint Force does not do BDA. By design, we don't grade our own homework. The intelligence community does. But here's what we know following the attacks and the strikes on Fordo. First, that the weapons were built, tested, and loaded properly. 2, the weapons were released on speed and on parameters. 3, the weapons all guided to their intended targets and to their intended aim points. 4, the weapons functioned as designed, meaning they exploded. And we know this through other means, intelligence means that we have, that we're visibly able to see them.
Now, on the day that those blew up, they were registering as an earthquake within Iran. That's how bad they blew up the ground, underground. And remember, he said there's 6 total bombs. There were 3 total sites that they fired on. I believe it was 2 bombs per site. So one went down, boom, and then another one went down, boom. That whole place, think of if you're trying to do nuclear research underground. You have all the cores and the coolants and it has to be built technically perfectly. And then you send a bunker buster bomb down that he talked about, the pressure and the explosion. That pressure would disrupt every wall in that underground space. Not confirmed. They don't, that will.
Right. So that's also me as well. I mean, if they're that far underground, even if it didn't hit where it needed to, I don't know how well underground tunnels are going to work when it's been hit with something that literally they said was measured as a earthquake. That's how hard those bunker bombs hit. They had no idea what happened. They just thought it was an earthquake. So if it can register as an earthquake, it hit, and it hit hard. I guess we'll find out more. But I mean, definitely let's not just assume. We definitely need to question it. But it's just interesting how Mean Girls, CNN, and MSNBC and all them want to come up and immediately, it didn't work. Like I said last video, what we do know for sure what happened was you had all the bombs, you had numerous aircrafts, not just the B-2 bombers. They were assisted by F-15s, F-22s. What we know is nobody saw anything. So what we know is everything was done. They've trained for this. Everything that they were able to know went the way it was planned. The only thing you're going to tell me that didn't work was the actual bombs that were dropped. They didn't hit their targets. I doubt that. And like I said, I think I might have said Tomcat missiles on the other video. They're obviously Tomahawk missiles, and with the Tomahawk missiles coming over, those things are extremely accurate, and they've been tested in actual wars for quite a while. They've been around for a while, but I don't have any of them, but I saw some of the videos that they're saying were people that just happen to have a camera available while some of these were going over the deserts. Pretty awesome pictures or video of that. But I also want to go to Hegseth that during the talks that he had. I don't know where it's at. Let's see. Here we go.
Coverage of a preliminary assessment. I've had a chance to read it. Every outlet has breathlessly reported on a preliminary.
Yeah, so this is kind of what I said too. When you have military, a lot of times they're not the people, like he said, the other gentleman said, they don't grade their own. Other people do. And also they need to get assessment. They need to get people, boots on the ground. So, and a lot of those reports are black and white. They can't say, yeah, I'm pretty sure we got it. They have to say, if they're not able to answer it, because they need to be able to get feedback, because those are expensive missiles. The technology, everything that goes into it is expensive. It needs to be reported on how the mission and after action report. So he explains it a little bit.
Coverage of a preliminary assessment. I've had a chance to read it. Every outlet has breathlessly reported on a preliminary assessment from DIA. I'm looking at it right now. Again, it was preliminary, a day and a half after the actual strike, when it admits itself in writing that it requires weeks to accumulate the necessary data to make such an assessment. It's preliminary. It points out that it's not been coordinated with the intelligence community at all. There's low confidence in this particular report. It says in the report there are gaps in the information. It says in the report multiple linchpin assumptions are what this assessment A linchpin assumption, you know what that is? That means your entire premise is predicated on a linchpin. If you're wrong, everything else is wrong. And yet, still, this report acknowledges it's likely severe damage. Again, this is preliminary, but leaked because someone had an agenda to try to muddy the waters and make it look like this historic strike wasn't successful. I'm going to get to the chairman in a moment because he's going to lay out the particulars for you based on his professional military experience. But here's what other folks are saying. The DIA that put that report out says this is a preliminary low confidence report and will continue to be refined as additional intelligence becomes available.
All right, so this briefing confirms the outrage, ladies and gentlemen.
Okay, that's a bore again. Yeah, he had some good ones today. But there goes a little of that. And then he's also asked this question.
The female pilots that also participated in this mission. The early messages that you sent out only congratulated the boys.
So when I say something like our boys and bombers, see, this is the kind of thing the press does, right? Of course, the chairman mentioned a female bomber pilot. That's fantastic. She's fantastic. She's a hero. I want more female bomber pilots. I hope the men and women of our country sign up to do such brave and audacious things. But when you spin it as, because I say our boys and bombers is a common phrase, I'll keep saying things like that, whether they're men or women. I'm very proud of that female pilot, just like I'm very proud of those male pilots. And I don't care if it's a male or a female in that cockpit, and the American people don't care. But it's the obsession with race and gender in this department that's changed priorities. We don't do that anymore. We don't play your little games.
And little does that reporter know, a B-2 bomber pilot.
Yeah. Oh, that kills me, and that's going to get me to the other thing that I want to talk to you about on this video. You know, why didn't the reporter say they're men, they're not boys? And he only said the boys and the bombers. Well, there were B-2 bombers. Should we make sure we classify B-2 bombers? Are the planes going to be hurt because you didn't say they were B-2 bombers? Are the men that were flying the plane, are they going to be upset because you called them boys? I mean, I've coached boys, I've coached girls. A lot of times when I always say, hey guys, let's go. Ooh, I say guys. What? All of a sudden I can't say guys when I'm on a softball field with a bunch of females.
Out of that female pilot.
I don't know. I mean, it's crazy, and we have a serious. I mean, it was a bombing, and it still sounds like we may not even have killed anybody in that. And the one thing this reporter wants to talk about is, he said, our boys are already on the way home. We've already bombed, blah blah blah. It's just a saying. It happens. Again, they weren't boys, they were men. Sorry. Oh, he was wrong. And they were B-2 bombers, not just bombers. Oh, it's frustrating. I was talking to somebody today about how, you know, I believe that the term marriage should be between a man and a woman. People start getting all freaked out, and I'm saying, no, it's not that. You know, I don't think that that a man and a man shouldn't be able to have their union together and be able to do the same thing as a marriage, as a man and a woman, or a woman and a woman together. No, it should all be the same. But it's like, if you're gay, you're gay. If you're lesbian, you're lesbian. If you're gay, you're gay. Obviously, you're a guy and you like guys. If you're lesbian, you're a woman, you like women. If you're straight, you like the opposite sex. So it's difficult when, you know, I've seen these cases where all of a sudden somebody comes up and like, oh, a female came up to me, I was hearing a story. She got offended because she said, I'm going to be getting married. And the person who wasn't aware of the situation said, oh, what's his name? And she's like, her name is, well, I just met you like 5 minutes ago. Or I met you a week ago. I've never seen you outside of work. I've never seen you, or whatever. How am I supposed to know when you say you're getting married? Because it can be whatever. But even in that case, don't get offended by it. That goes on. To me, it's just, why are we adding things where we don't need things added? And then why are we grouping everything together? And when I say, why are we adding things, like, for instance, as I've said before, I'm a karaoke hoe. I go karaoke a lot, hang out with a lot of different people, gays, lesbians, whatever. I don't care. Doesn't matter to me. But sometimes I come across and then somebody was talking about something. They said I was a cis male. Don't add cis. I'm just a male. What are you adding cis for? I'm a male. If you want to be something else, you want to be a trans woman, I don't care what you are. But why are you adding cis to people that are just actual males and actual females? Yes, I understand what they try to do, but why are you adding that? But then when people who, that initially the word marriage was always between a man and a woman until, recently, and once again, I don't mean to take any rights away from uh, a man and a woman married couple have the same rights as a man and a woman couple, whatever. I just think it would be nice to clarify so that if somebody is, you don't insult somebody by when somebody says, "Oh, I'm getting married next week." "Oh, what's her name?" And the guy's like, "His name is Ralph." I mean, it's just, I don't mean to insult you, but when you say you're married, I'm gonna assume something unless, there's like no way that this person's likes a female or whatever. I'm just saying, trying to be funny a little bit, but I'm just saying it's just things like that. Because people get it. "Oh, why can't it be marriage?" Well, then sometimes you're in a scenario where all of a sudden now you just hurt somebody's feelings because you just assume. What, we can't assume anymore? I mean, well, we wouldn't have to assume if you had marriage was between a man and a woman and maybe a union or something. I'm getting unioned. I know that sounds dumb, but I'm just saying I don't know what you would make up. I think cis is retarded. Oh, I probably can't say the R word either, right? I think cis is, and I mean it the form of what the word is a goofy term. It's a retarded term, man. Cis. I'm just male, right? So you guys just, or whoever else, just make stuff up. So why wouldn't you make? Oh yeah, I'm gonna get unioned next week. If it was a guy, if it was me, then all of a sudden you're like, oh, he has a guy. He's gay. Okay, so what's his name? Oh, his name's Jimmy, and him and I, blah blah. Whatever. It's great. I mean, the other thing is too is I was talking to a female a couple of weeks back, and she was like, "Oh yeah, my partner's going to be coming up," and I was like, "Oh man, I didn't realize she was a lesbian." It doesn't matter to me. Like I said, karaoke, hanging out with a bunch of people. I was like, "Oh, okay." I was like, "Man, I would not, I would not." Sometimes you have certain what do they say, that radar, gaydar, whatever that is, whatever. And I was like, hold on, let me do this real quick.
But just like I'm very
I was
proud
like,
of those male pilots, and
stop. So I was like, oh, I didn't know. All of a sudden, her husband walks in, and I'm like, "Oh, this is your partner?" She's like, "Yeah." I'm like, "Oh, when you said partner," she's like, "Oh, you thought I was." "Oh, yeah, no, I just feel more comfortable using that." Well, I thought that was a nice way of letting people know that you were gay or you're a lesbian. Say, "Oh, I have a partner," but now partner is just partner. I don't get it. I don't get it. So no need for cis. I think we need another term for same sex couple unions, and I believe spouse should be male female, partner should be the same. That's just me. It would really help people out to not get offended if you're just able to say a term and have that term mean something and have it be what it's always been. Like, no reason for cis male. If you say I have a partner, you're in a relationship with the same sex, or you're a polyamory or something. That just doesn't mean that you have one person. Anyway, okay, so done with that one. Well, I guess I'm not done, because I'm gonna say definitely people can get a little bent out of shape because then all of a sudden they think, oh, you're against same sex being in a union or being what the term marriage means. No, that's not what I mean. If you understood what I just said, no, it's the term that we can easily talk in a language that we can identify who we are, so we can respectfully not, when you're not meaning to insult somebody. Most people, I think, would take it, but I do know, wasn't just a story I heard recently, but I have heard more than one time somebody does get offended because, oh, no, it's a her, or it's a him, because you don't recognize or realize that they like the same sex. And it's like, dude, I don't care. I just didn't know. I don't know how. If you say you're married, and I just assume you're married, unless I know something about you. So, anyway, also, let's see. I don't know if I have anything else on here that I was going to talk about. No, there's some other stuff I was going to talk about later. Oh, this is an interesting one. You guys see this one?
Sanders looked completely thrown off when Joe Rogan fact-checked him.
As a result of the Citizens United Supreme Court decision, you can put millions or hundreds of millions of dollars into a campaign and express your view about how terrible Bernie Sanders is, and you can buy that election, right? That's your constitutional right. I think that's probably the worst decision that the Supreme Court has ever made. What is the result of that decision? Elon Musk, he spent $270 million to elect Trump as president. I think that's absurd, that any one person...
What's the most someone donated towards the Harris campaign?
They spent a lot of money on Harris.
They spent $1.5 billion.
Ooh, ouch. That's gotta hurt, huh?
Okay.
Bernie Sanders looked completely thrown
Ouch.
off. Sanders looked completely
One more
thrown off
time.
when
Here.
Joe Rogan fact-checked
One
him.
more
As a
time.
result of the Citizens United Supreme Court decision, you can put millions or hundreds of millions of dollars into a campaign and express your view about how terrible Bernie Sanders is, and you can buy that election, right? That's your constitutional right. I think that's probably the worst decision that the Supreme Court has ever made. What is the result of that decision? Elon Musk, he spent $270 million to elect Trump as president. I think that's absurd, that any one person...
What's the most someone donated towards the Harris campaign?
They spent a lot of money on Harris.
They spent $1.5 billion.
Okay.
Bernie Sanders...
Ouch. That's gotta hurt. Okay, so this guy wants to... this guy wants to come up and he wants to say, oh, well, you got Elon Musk to 270 million he spends to say Bernie Sanders, blah blah blah. And Joe Rogan ain't holding any punches anymore. Media messed up when they try to get him. He had Trump on there on his podcast. I think he had JD Vance on there, and then Bernie thinks he's safe and is gonna go on there. No. He turns around and says that one. Now I didn't check this, so if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. Sorry, but I'm watching this. He said one person, 1.5 billion. Now, off my calculations, I think 1.5 billion is a lot more than 270 million. And how does he respond? How does it, Bernie? He's like, okay. You literally just said worst decision ever made. Elon is horrible. 270 million. Oh, it's tragic. Oh, but someone did what just off the top of my head, what is that, like 7, 8, 9 times that they did? And just telling you, this guy who's always talking about taxing the rich or whatever. What's he got? 3 homes? And trust me, they're not my home. They're extremely nice. What, probably mansions at some point. 3 houses, and he's gonna tell you he doesn't have a company. He's just pretty much been in politics, and the dude's got 3 houses, but he's the one that's gonna go fight for you and me. Yes, I get where Trump's at and all that, but I'm just saying, these guys talk about that. Trump, we all know where Trump is, and Trump has no problem saying where he came from and all that stuff. But these guys, they want to say that they understand at least Trump has employed people. Yeah, there's stories about him, whatever. But I'm saying at least he's got companies, he's employed people. This guy right here is nothing. Elon Musk, he's gone out, he's employed people. He has companies. He has SpaceX, things like that. This guy, nothing. And then he sits there, and when he gets called out, yeah, it's stuff like that bothers me. We're getting kind of long here. Couple things. Another thing, and you guys heard about that female that sung the in Dodger Stadium sung the Star Spangled Banner in Spanish. I find that weird because, for one, I believe I heard the female's Cuban and Dominican. So that's one. So she's not even from Mexico. I understand the language, whatever. However, you're singing a national anthem and you're singing it in not its native language. Like, would you go to, I don't know, would you go to France and sing that anthem in France in English? It's very disrespectful. But I was talking to somebody who's Mexican, like I am. I'm half Apache, half Mexican. And oh, well, she was showing pride. I was like, pride? And I was like, pride of what? Because it's Spanish. I was like, she's not even from Mexico. And I get, well, but it's more the point, the heritage and all that stuff. I was like, the heritage, the language isn't Mexicanish, right? Right? It's if you're trying to show pride of Mexico, that's why I think it's dumb that you would do it, because now you're doing it in a European language. Because for people that don't know, there's a reason that it's called Spanish. It's because it's from Spain. Because the Mexico area was conquered by Spaniards and pretty much took over its culture because it was literally taken over. I believe Cortez, right? Cortez with a hyphen S, right? Came through and started colonizing that. And literally, eventually Mexico got their independence. But that's why it's Spanish. And if you didn't know that, look it up. Just look, all you gotta do is put why is Spanish spoken in Mexico. Like I said, maybe I could understand if it was Mexicanish. Yeah, I'm doing it because I'm doing for all the Mexicans, whatever. It's not even Mexican language. It's the Spaniard language. I mean, just like been getting Uber driving a lot. I've run into and they're really nice people. A lot of people over from Africa. A lot of them are listening to like French rap and stuff, and I'm like, what is this stuff? I've never heard of it, and I'm kind of digging some of it. And then he's like, oh yes, we were colonized by the French, and so I'm fluent. And he's got an accent, an African accent wherever he's from or wherever they are from, and because they've been from different parts. Because I've asked where they were, and I put it in my phone so I can remember. And then all of a sudden, I was like, really? I was like, let me, can I hear? And yeah, perfect French accent sounds just like that. That's his only language. So you have places like that. So what are you prideful for? You're singing it in Spain's language? Great. Awesome. Fantastic. Good job. I'm sorry. Just wanted to share that. I thought that was silly. Oh, and then the last I was going to say is, I don't know if you heard, but SCOTUS also approved the parents to be able to opt out of LGBTQ teachings or books or anything, something like that within school. And I just really feel that more power to the people. Parents should be able to decide what there are kids. We had them, parents should be able to decide what they see, what they learn, things like that. And because we're talking about being in a public school, if you should be able to have, at least the way I feel, you should be able to have things outwards where if parents do want to learn about LGBTQ plus stuff, whatever, that's fine. I totally agree if parents don't want that, and I won't have to deal with that because I'm done. Kids are gone, kids are out. But just like, yeah, I don't think religion should, unless you're going to a religious school, no religion should be in school. Or, if you're going to have it, then every religion in there should be one or the other. But I mean, ultimately, to me, school, you should not have any politics. You shouldn't. I mean, when I went to school, I didn't even know what my teachers' first names were. I didn't even know they had a house. I thought they slept at school. No, but I mean, serious, I didn't know who they were. I mean, if you saw your teacher out, it was you avoid them. Now all of a sudden people want to know who who they're dating. Instead, leave that to yourself. School is all about teaching people how to learn, not what to learn and what they need to know, how to get the information, how it should be. That's what I feel. So I think that's a win for the parents, because it puts more control to the parents. So I like that. Like I said, a lot of times I'll talk on here, and I maybe more and more I'll get into my own personal things, but I don't feel that just because I believe something that it's right. It's just what I believe. So I'm more on the side of when it's given the choice back to the people, like whether it was talking about abortion, that want to get into the actual abortion thing, but I like that it's back to the states because it gives the people more power because it's within the states. In this case, here we have this LGBTQ situation, and it just gives power back to the parents to allow them to know what's going on, to see what to know what's going on. So yeah, so I think we're gonna end it there. Maybe I'll have some more this weekend. But if not, man, like, subscribe, keep sending me some information if you can. Put some comments down there. Let's get something going. Someone's gonna be mad. Well, let's keep it going. Let's get the conversation going. The only way I'm gonna get better at what I believe is by hearing quality arguments from the other side. If it's just gonna be throw hate and all that stuff, I don't care. I'll leave the stuff down there, but no, I'm not going to waste my time on just insults and ignorant stuff. But I'll definitely have no problem commenting on actual arguments. Like I said, and I've said before, there has been a couple of times where talking to somebody who, and it doesn't necessarily mean that they know everything too, because even they might have great arguments. But I grew up differently, and there's like, hey, you do got a great argument, but I'm sorry, I can't stand for that. I just can't do it. So it's not necessarily that. It's that when somebody brings something up, and I'm like, whoa, that's yeah, I might have to think on that. That's actually, and that's happened a lot. A lot of times it just gets me to the point where it justifies, because I have to sit and I have to reminisce and think about it. Maybe have a glass of scotch and smoke on the tobacco pipe, think about it, and then kind of come to a conclusion. But yeah, definitely open for any of that. So hopefully I'm helping some of you guys out. This is definitely helping me out. I'm enjoying it. Hopefully we can keep going. And yeah, just like I said, like, subscribe. This is the Tasmania reactions. And yeah, we'll see you around. Be safe this weekend. I'll try to get something out. Maybe even some type of short on location somewhere just to say what's up. But yeah, you guys be safe out there. Don't do anything too stupid. But thanks for hanging out. Have a good one.